So recently, a video went up by Omri Cohn, who makes videos about modular stuff and mostly VCV rack. And I'll post a link to it in the description. He was talking about building a multitap delay and then doing interesting things with it. And that's the thing I've been interested in for a while, especially a beat synced multitap delay, which is a thing I've never done, but I think I have all the tools to do it. So today, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build one of those. Okay, so I have a delay already, which lets me set the duration of the delay. So to build multi-tap delay, I just need a bunch of those. So let's start with, first off, a basic drum sound, just so we have something to put through the delay. So we'll do this bandpass filter at whatever, 100 hertz, make it real resonant, and then give it a clock. Okay, so that'll bum bum bum, and then we can hear it. So then we want a bunch of delays. So let's do, I don't know, let's do 8. So delay 1. And then this has, I think, just one parameter, which is the length in seconds. And we want a relatively short length. So we want it to be, let's do this. Since the point of this is to be beat synced. Tempo. So if that is 2 quarters per second and we want, say, 16th notes, we want 8 to 4 quarters a second, 8 quarters a second. So that is 1 divided by tempo times 2. It's a little weird way of doing that. Let me just double check that I have the arguments right on the delay, because I'm suddenly unsure. Bunch of commented out code because I need to go back and clean up after a big refactoring. There's 3 inputs. It has rescale. No, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Modulated delay is 2, a length and a signal. Okay, cool. That's what I thought. Okay, and so for this first delay, the signal is going to be the drum. And we're just going to repeat this a bunch, but each subsequent delay, the signal is going to be the previous delay. And they're going to be all the same length, I think. So like that. So yeah, you can see what we're doing is we're building a chain of these things where the signal flows out of the instrument into this first delay. It's delayed by a 16th note. And then it flows out of that into the second delay, where it's delayed by another 16th note. And each time it flows across one of these boundaries, we can do stuff with it, which is why this is interesting. Let's see. 6, 7. Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess that's all we need. Okay, so that's 8 delay lines. No, that is not 8 delay lines because I started at 1. 8 delay lines. And then what we want is we want to tap patch each of those into the output. And then let's actually patch the dry signal in as well. This is getting a little verbose, but I don't know. Okay, so now if we should be able to play this. Okay, didn't do quite what I was expecting. Why is that? Trigger with a sine wave. Channels. Slow this down. Okay. Sure, we're actually hearing the delay lines. No, they're there. Okay. Cool. Okay. So now we have let's do this. This will trigger once when the graph reloads. So there you can hear if when it triggers just one time it goes. So that's it. Applying it close to the end of the beginning. That's a little strange. Let's do this. This is right now. Well, no, because I want to go to the end of the place. I guess I can put a gain. I don't think I put a global gain, which I want to go for. We'll go for this. We'll want this. That's too much. Okay, that sounds very reasonable. So I think some of those artifacts were just clipping. Cool. Okay, so that's the sound I'm expecting. Cool. So let's think about what we can do here. So if I have a pan for each delay, I'll just start with in the center. Okay, so now I can pan that tap. So let's just not the most fun code, right? Actually, while I'm doing this, let me think about what else I want to add. There's going to be a gain. So start it at 1. And that's probably all I need for now. I guess I could do one of my dynamically defined constructors to construct each of these little delay modules, and that would reduce some of the copy and paste tedium here. Typo on all of these. But it doesn't quite fix it because I still have to get all those parameters into the dynamic thing. I don't know. I'm not sure how best to do that. But like, I sure don't want to be doing this, so I'll fix that somehow. If I were more careful with naming things, I could do copy and paste or search and replace type stuff, make this a little bit less painful. But I didn't get that quite right this time. Okay, but now we're done. I think that should. Okay, let's put this back on the clock. Yeah, nothing happens. It's there, it's just very quiet. Maybe I'm just not hitting the filter hard enough. Okay. Cool. So let's do this. First off, let's do a downward ramp in the delay. So every delay will get a little bit quieter. This point, I probably actually can't hear them anymore. bring this probably back up to full volume. Still. So it gives like an echo effect in ways I don't entirely understand. Sometimes it buzzes. I don't know. Okay, and then we can do a pan. So like, just do a ping pong, right? You know, all in one direction, all in the other direction, all in one direction, all in the other direction. So it's like a classic ping pong delay, right? So you can hear that effect. Interesting. I'm not sure I have these delays quite right, because this is, I say double the tempo. I guess this is eighth notes. I'm for some reason struggling to do that math. Let's do delay length equals 1, or in this will be 16th notes. Okay, try that. There we go. That sounds better. Cool. Okay, so there's a ping pong delay. That's fun. What else can we do with this? If maybe we can make the pans wander. Is that interesting? Let's make a clock. Is this? So everybody can use the same clock. And we want, that's not where that goes. So we're gonna drift at a rate between 0 and 1, and we're gonna move every time the clock signals. And actually, I'm just gonna do that in everybody. So now the pan should be drifting around relatively slowly. And let's just see if we do the same thing for gain. So gain is going to be, let's try that again. Go there to the end of the line. Okay, that's better. That's also going to be a Brownian thingy. Similar rates. It's going to go between, I guess, also 0 and 1, also on the clock. So each of these is picks a random starting point, so they're not like synchronized or anything. So now the texture of the delay should change over time. I think I'm only hearing it in one channel because there's something wrong with my cable. Okay. Okay. So now what does it sound like? Can we put something other than a percussive sound through it? Let's just do a little melody. That tempo, and then give this a voice, just a sine wave oscillator for now. Oh, I see. I've been wondering why this sounded weird in stereo. Is because the dry signal is only going to one channel. That makes more sense. Okay, so similar there and similar here. I have to adjust the levels on this. Let's see. And it didn't like that because even though I made that change a week ago, I keep forgetting that the syntax is different now. Why did you stop playing? It plays one note. That can't possibly be right. Oh, I had this problem last time too. I still haven't figured out. I haven't looked into why this is happening. The sequences are getting initialized and reloaded incorrectly somehow. So there's a bug that I need to fix. But I just haven't looked at it yet. Cool. So what else is interesting that we could do? Could do some things like you could put filters in between the delays. One of the things that Amri Cohn did in his video, which I thought was interesting, was to pick one of these taps and extract an envelope from it and use that envelope to trigger stuff. So you have like sort of secondary voices that trigger only when a signal passes through certain parts of the delay. And that was cool. Let's see if I can do it. I don't know that I really have the tools to do that, but okay. So let's extract an envelope here. Well, actually, this isn't really where the code goes. Let's say that this envelope is going to come from delay 4. So let's just turn that into an impulse. I think this is going to be real clicky because it's trying to turn an audio rate signal into an impulse because I don't really have a good envelope follower. That for sure didn't do anything. Does that makes a cycle, so I can't do that. So what we have to do is we have to make a bridge here. I should automate this edge cutting, especially because I did a bunch of logic around basically what it would take to automate this edge cutting for the code generator to make the more optimized stuff. And I should do that in this version. So I think never have to make these explicit bridges. At the cost that I would occasionally get one sample delays in maybe unpredictable places, and that might sometimes cause problems. Okay. Now you are this instead. Yeah, so there's the buzzing I was expecting because of the audio rate impulses. But actually doesn't sound that bad. I'm kind of surprised this isn't feeding back out of control, because that seems like it's something it might do. We should be able to. Yeah, I think that will basically it will never trigger. Kinda neat. It's interesting, sometimes it buzzes and sometimes it does like a watery, bubbly sound. I'm not really sure where that's coming from. Also interesting that the level on this is actually not linearly related to how often it triggers, which I guess makes sense because I'm using Schmidt triggers, and so if I reduce the amount of time it spends over the threshold, that doesn't necessarily reduce it doesn't stop it from firing. It just means it fires for a shorter period, which means I basically get more impulses. So that's interesting. So if I can slow it down by making it huge. Pretty neat though. Something like that. The other possibility is to put in like literal feedback where I feed the audio back in, not just try and extract like an impulse from it. Well, actually, let's just try this. No, I'm not going to try and do it without real followers. 16th later. And let's just feed that directly back in. Delay 6 out. This one I will need to put some sort of gain on, because otherwise it's going to feed back out of control. So let's start with it low. Entirely sure what that is. Maybe I did something wrong here. That staticky stuff may have been like on NAN or something getting stuck in the delays, or in like an infinity. I should guard against that, because that's obviously pretty destructive. Okay, that seems more reasonable if I keep the gain down. But so if I let it feed back out of control, then I get bad values stuck in the loop that are indestructible. So like nans and infinities in floating point math, you can never get rid of them once they're present. And so you just have to prevent them from showing up in the first place, or somehow filter them out, which I do in a few other places, and I guess I need it here too. And it's kind of interesting, because I've got the melody is changing notes according to the tempo, but actually triggering according to, and I guess I could sample and hold. Let's do that. Melody, because I think some of these artifacts I may be hearing is because the note's changing mid. The free pitch is changing mid note, which isn't necessarily bad, but let's say, let's extract this out. So you're now a trigger, and you're going to use that trigger, but you're also going to use that trigger. We're going to put a sample on hold here. I think the trigger goes first. Yeah, so you could definitely hear some artifacts where it was blipping in the middle of the note. Although I'm not sure this is more interesting. The other way is to actually lean into that and put a slew limiter on this. It's interesting, that changes the texture of the quite a bit. Although I'm not entirely sure I can figure out what the change actually is. It just sounds different. Like, I mean, I know structurally what must be happening, but I'm not sure I can really hear it. I think I actually like the original version better, without the sample volume. This is just too aggressive. If I take the drums out, then the melody will never trigger. Yeah, so I can't actually do that. Okay, I'm happy with that. That was an interesting exploration, because this makes kind of a cool texture. Obviously, you could play for a lot of hours with this basic structure and do all sorts of interesting things. Since every tab, you could put filters between the tabs to make like an echo effect, where you remove more and more high frequency content as it passes down the chain, and start to make it sound more like a reverb. Or you could do all sorts of more complicated stuff where you're triggering different voices on different tabs. You could make